Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing great. Welcome to Double A Game Changer webinar for the September 2026 exam window. Well, my name is Ahmed and I really hope so that with the help of these sessions, I will make a difference. I will definitely try my level best to make you realize that this paper is not a mission impossible. At the same time, if you will follow a disciplined approach, you can easily crack this paper, and that too in flying colors. I am super confident and excited for this session, and I'm sure that at the end of this session, you will have much more clarity regarding the paper. You will understand what needs to be done over the next 1 month. Yes, that's a great news. You still have got 1 month. Usually, when we have webinars, when we start the third and the final batch at VIFHE, which is called the revision course, we are only left with 20, 21, or 22 days. But this time around, things are actually different because your final exam is not on 1st September, which happens to be Tuesday. And that is why your final exam is on Monday, 7th September. Well, you have got complete 1 month, and this 1 month is more than enough to secure this particular paper. On Monday, 7th September 2026, there will be two types of students: those who are just going to attempt the paper and those who are going to secure the exam. Well, if you want to secure the exam, you are at the right platform. All I need is you to concentrate over the next, I will say, next 1 hour, 2 hours, that's it. And even if you will concentrate over the next 2 hours, I'm sure you will realize that there is something really, really pleasant for you, and you can actually shine like a bright star on the final exam day. Uh, okay, okay, let's proceed. And before I actually proceed, let me tell you something. Intentionally, I have planned and I will be dividing this particular session into three stages, into three layers. In the stage number one, in the layer number one, which will last 10 to 15 minutes, I will discuss some tips and tricks in relation to the double A, some common characteristics among the failure, and I will tell you some basic stuff about the double A, the course content, the exam format, and the few success stories. So that's going to be the stage one, which will not last more than 10 to 15 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. And then in the stage number two, I will share a realistic plan, one final plan for the September 2026 exam window. And that plan will incorporate all the Section A questions using all the possible resources such as Kaplan, ACCA Study Hub, and BPP. And more importantly, that plan will cover top 30 CRQs. And yes, if you will attend my lectures relevant to those top 30 questions, and if you will practice your answers exactly like I will be guiding you, and if you will follow the drafting techniques, as a result of that, you can actually secure this exam. So hang on, I will share a plan. And in the third and in the final stage of this session, out of the three core topics we have, we will be discussing one. And with that approach, if you will attend top 10 CRQs and if you will practice the questions, I'm sure this is going to be a piece of cake for you. So I think we should get started. And you guys are more than welcome to use the chat box. You can always share your concerns and you can raise your queries. I will definitely keep an eye on the announcement group, on the chat box. But as of now, I think I should move towards the first stage of this particular session. As I just mentioned, there will be three parts of this session. So it's time for me to move towards the first part. And the first part, here we go. So today is Thursday, 6th August 2026. Your final exam is on Monday, 7th September. So you have got solid 31 days. A bare minimum of 30 days are available to everyone. VIFHE started their double A revision course yesterday from 5th August. But as a tutor, I have assumed that we will be starting the double A revision course from 8th August. Why? Because I believe 6th and 7th August are extremely important days because every one of you will be busy in the webinar. I'm sure once we are done with this session, I'll give you all a homework. So I'm sure you will be busy in the homework and then you will come back for the day 2 of the webinar. That is why whatever I have planned from 8th August. Okay, yes, definitely. All eyes on Monday, 7th September 2026. My name is Ahmed, and if you want to jump in and if you want to join the revision batch at VIFHE, we have got 3 batches: regular batch, which starts after the exam; post result batch, also known as reset batch, which starts after the result. And then finally, for the last 3-4 weeks, we start one final batch, which is called the revision course. And we have launched the revision course for all the papers. So you can always join the paper or the course which you want to attempt in September. So for that, you have to go to the VIFHE's website. A brief introduction about me: I teach BT, AA, and AAA at VIFHE. AA and AAA are available in English and Hindi Urdu languages. So it's up to you, suit yourself. For AA, we always conduct live sessions in Hindi Urdu language, and for English batch we conduct live sessions in English language. So overall the past paper questions are same, the content is same, the notes are same, the drafting technique is same, the tutor is same, the WhatsApp support is same, but yes, the live sessions, the practice sessions are usually conducted in different languages. Okay, yes, I was part of the elite panel on behalf of ACCA, where ACCA selected me for the sake of conducting practice to pass webinars, and I conducted multiple webinars, to be precise, 5 webinars for both AA and AAA. Few success stories for you from the platform of VIFHE. These are the recent AA prize winners, and we have got students from Spain to Jamaica to Hungary to Sri Lanka, and the list goes on. So these are all latest AA position holders from the platform of VIFHE. And then we have got few more recent position holders for the paper AAA from the platform of VIFHE, starting from India to Saudi to Albania, and the list goes on and on. Now, moving forward, yes, I would like to highlight few shining stars. One of them is Azhar. He scored first position in India in the paper AAA. Akankasha Agarwal, she scored 78 in AAA and she ended up scoring third position in AAA. Let's talk about AA. So Nadia scored the first position in the entire Caribbean region for the paper AA. And then we have got Jolia. She scored again. She was considered as the top performer in AA in the entire Caribbean region. Very recently, hardly 1 month ago, in fact, less than a month ago, result was on 11th or 13th July. So 10th July, hardly 2-3 days ago, less than a month ago, we came to know that Mr. Khalil, who had 78 in AA, I guess, I'm not sure, he ended up scoring another position in the AA. So he topped the entire Caribbean region and the 10th position worldwide. And from the June 2026 attempt, Ashfa Naima, she scored first position in the AA exam. Moving forward, yes, maybe relevant for you. From the June 2026 attempt, these are the high achievers for the paper AA. And guys, mind you, 85, 83 in AA is as good as scoring 95, 93 in FR or tax, because this paper has got no calculation whatsoever. This is a discussion based paper. So Priyanka, Ashfa, Shumaim, Pranchal, these girls, they were shining like a bright star. So, well, all four girls ended up being the high achievers. If you want to check out the valuable insights from Priyanka and Shumaim, so those two interviews are available through the VIFHE YouTube channel. And I'm sure if you will check out those interviews, it will not take more than 10 minutes each, but you will realize that how these girls ended up scoring such a high score. And you know what? Priyanka, her conversation is English. Shumaim, her conversation is in Urdu, Hindi language. You will realize that 99% of the point of views or the insights which they are going to share is same. They relied only on my master file. They followed my drafting technique. They followed my instructions and gave respect to the mock exam. They gave respect to the section A and ended up scoring 24, 26 out of 30. So you might realize that whatever Priyanka is saying, maybe that's a replica of what Shumaim is saying. But as a matter of fact, both are completely different students. So, but because the tutor is same, the ideology is same. So I'm sure that's going to be really helpful and inspiring for you. What about the pass rates of AA? Well, you cannot really compare the pass rates of AA with FR, tax, SBR, SBL, because those are always over and above 50%. For AA, let's talk about the year 2024, March, June, September, December. So 44, 44, 47. So that 47 is a good one, but again 44. So that's your 2024. Let's explore 2025. 47, 44, 46, 46. So looks promising. I think 2025 was a far better year in terms of global pass rates. Let's talk about the last two results belonging to 2026. 43%. That's a dip. That's a low number. But finally, back to the 47%. So overall, on an average, the global pass rate is 45%, I would say, and uh, it is not really bad if you compare it with tax or FR, but there is a significant difference because they are always over and above 50%. This one hardly ever crosses 47%. So yeah, there is a gap, but I think you don't have to worry a lot about it. AA has got a significantly or a relatively higher failure rate only because of the fact that students are preparing this easy exam with one perspective in mind for each and every topic, whether it's a minor topic such as ethics, whether it's a core major topic such as audit risk or procedures. You should prepare each and every topic from three perspectives. But all around the globe, the tutors and unfortunately the students, they are preparing the topic, well, each and every topic from one perspective only. Now, what do I mean by one perspective versus three perspectives? Well, hang on. Within the next 5 to 10 minutes, I will sort it out. So what about the course content? Well, syllabus area A is about ethics and acceptance along with corporate governance. This area should be prepared for the application-based CRQ. This area should be prepared for bookish knowledge. This area should be prepared for OT cases. This is what I mean by three perspectives. Let's talk about syllabus area B, audit risk. Same philosophy. Even though syllabus area A is a minor topic and syllabus area B is a major topic, but you should apply the same ideology. You should prepare audit risk for the sake of application-based CRQs, for the sake of bookish knowledge, and for the sake of section A OT cases as well. Syllabus area C has got internal audit and internal controls, same philosophy. Syllabus area D, substantive procedures, and syllabus area E, completion, review, and reporting. These topics, well, most of the times, these topics are the decisive factor. Well, let me tell you a story. I think last night when I was done with my AAA webinar, I'm not sure whether it was early morning or last night, a student contacted me, and to be very honest, I don't even remember the name. I'm sure he was from India. I'm sure, but I'm not sure about the name. So for me, it was an unknown number, as usual. So he said I scored 44, I think 44 or 43 in the last attempt, or 47. Again, I'm not sure. Although it's a very recent conversation through the WhatsApp text. So should I go for the revision course or not? And what would be included in that? I said, I'm sure you have failed the paper because of two main reasons. Number one, you have definitely failed the section A of your exam. Well, mind you, there are two sections in your exam. Section A has got 30 marks. It has got 3 OT cases, which can cover any area of the syllabus. So it's not about that section A will only cover minor topics and section B will only cover major topics. No. In section A, you can have ethics. In section B, you can have ethics. In section A, you can have procedures. In section B, you will definitely have procedures. So I said, you must have failed the paper in two ways. Number one, you have failed the section A of your exam. Number two, definitely you failed the syllabus area D and E of your exam. I never say it's syllabus area D. I never say syllabus area E. I always say syllabus area D and E. D and E as a whole. And even for the next 1 week or so, my current batch students are already preparing syllabus area D and E. Even in fact, I will be conducting couple of assignments relevant to D and E. Assignment means a test which will be critically marked, and you will get a genuine, honest feedback. Those are going to be past paper questions, 20 marks each, two assignments relevant to D and E. We had two assignments on audit risk. We had two assignments on controls. But let's take a prospective view. Syllabus area D and E. After 5 minutes or so, or maybe less than that, he shared the my exam performance report with me. And his score in syllabus area B audit risk was 53%. Control syllabus area C internal audit and internal controls 51 or 57%. Syllabus area D and E 34 or 28%. And syllabus section A of the exam again 28, 29% fail. This I'm not the godfather of AA. It's just that over the last 16 years, I am teaching ACCA students. I started teaching back in 2010, and I taught my first ever AA batch in, I started that first ever batch in December 2013. So even if we exclude first 2 3 years where I was not involved in AA, so even if we start from 2013, so over the last 1 decade, or in fact more than 1 decade or so, I've been doing the same shit, and that is AA and AAA. So without even checking out the my exam performance report, I knew it. Why I was so confident? Because if over the last 3 4 years I've gone through at least 500 or 1000 my exam performance report, and 80% of them have got similar characteristics. And what are those characteristics? All around the globe, the AA students will never prepare the section A OT cases. Please use the chat box and let me know. Use the chat box and let me know, have you prepared and have you solved all the Section A OT cases from Kaplan Kit and ACCA Study Hub for this particular till now? Are you already done with it? Right? Yes, if you are already done with it. Right? Yes, if you are already done with it. Entire Kaplan Kit, entire Study Hub. And the answers are no, 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 no. Okay, I've got one yes. Shaista, are you a self-study student? So we've got one yes so far. That's great. Shaista, 2 thumbs up. Keep it up. Well done. Guys, and please write yes in the chat box. Please write yes in the chat box if you have solved, well, 4 5 CRQs on audit risk, 4 5 CRQs on controls. Write yes in the chat box. All of a sudden, we have got so many yes. Then what the hell is this? What is this? Why this discrimination? So you guys, all of you are reflecting the common characteristic which is available across the globe, that we will prepare the section B of the exam, we will practice the CRQs, we will solve the section B, and you guys are wrongly believing that automatically you will pass the section A of the exam as well. No, no, you will not pass the section A of the exam without putting in a genuine, serious hard work. And that serious hard work can make you score 24 or 26 out of 30. And how can you achieve that? Well, if you are privileged enough that you have joined my batch because you had the funds, you had the resources, and if you are part of my batch, please pay respect to the Section A lectures. Each and every OT case, each and every Section A question using the Kaplan exam kit is available through the VIFHE LMS. Each and every lecture. Every lecture has got 3 OT cases. So solve 3 OT cases on your own and then attend my goddamn lecture where I've explained why a particular option is correct and why a particular option is not correct. With the similar ideology, the latest ACCA study hub is very much reflection of the final exam. In fact, that's what Priyanka and Shumayam said as well in the interview. They said Kaplan helped us a lot, but when after solving Kaplan, when we went on to solving the study hub was exactly like the final exam, or you can say the final exam is exactly like the study hub. So each and every ACCA Study Hub OT case is available through the VIFHE LMS as a lecture, but not 3 OT cases in one lecture, rather one lecture having one case only. Each and every case has got 5 questions. So every lecture has got 10 marks. Solve an OT case on your own as a challenge, attend my lecture, and you will realize the difference. Those lectures are going to make you prepare for the Section A, and if you will be well prepared for Section A, as a result of that, you cannot fail this paper. There are 50%, if we select 100% failures, 50 to 60% of the failures fail their exam at 48, 49%. Even I would say 70 to 80% of the failures fall somewhere between 46 to 49. And those failures are always having 8 or 10 or 12 marks out of 30 in Section A. Imagine if their score was 22 or 24 out of 30. All of them would have passed the paper. So the biggest reason behind the double A failure is lack of preparation for Section A, which requires the coverage of the entire syllabus. And the second common reason behind the double A failure is you cannot rote learn the procedures. You have to absorb the drafting technique. I will teach you the drafting technique of audit risk in this lecture, but I cannot teach the drafting technique of every topic in this lecture. So drafting technique for procedure is super important. Okay, let's move forward. Sir, many OT cases have been removed from study hub. How do you know that many OT cases have been removed from study hub? I've got a question. Is this also available in the revision batch? Absolutely, yes. Yes, Shaista, thank you very much. We should solve Kaplan first before ACCA Study Hub. Absolutely. Don't try Study Hub directly. That will demoralize you. That will create a negative energy. Go for the Kaplan. Once you are sorted, once you have covered the lectures, once you are well prepared for Kaplan, then go for Study Hub. Okay, so I've got a question in the chat box that many OT cases have been removed from Study Hub. And how do you know? Because the lectures are available on LMS, but those questions are no longer available through the ACCA Study Hub. Guess what? Those questions or similar question will come up in the final exam. Many students used to say, sir, whatever you have taught in the Kaplan lecture, that was not part of the final exam. But that helped us solving the Study Hub OT cases. And when we solved the Kaplan ACCA Study Hub OT cases, those questions were more or less similar what we faced in the final exam. Now, ACCA has removed certain OT cases. I'm sure the final exam would be more or less like that, or maybe exactly like that. Uh, what should be my approach now? Please hang on. Let me complete this lecture. Automatically, you will understand what approach you need to use. So we need to practice the questions in, you need to practice the question on your own first. If you're talking about section A, then you need to watch my lecture. Can you cover substantive procedures in the session 2? It's drafting skills. It's not that easy. For substantive procedure drafting technique, I've got 7 lectures, and I will be having 2 or 3 live sessions as well in the coming week. So I can't cover the content of 10 to 15 lectures in a single lecture tomorrow. Okay, let me finish. Sir, by the way, you have to do the exam. I didn't understand. Sir, I'm reading the procedure from the study text and then reading the standard solution of procedure. Is it's Well, if you're reading this, if you're reading the book and the exam kit, and if you're able to pick up a pattern, well, then that's okay. Because I don't think so. If you only read the study text, or if you only read the exam kit solution, you will get a pattern. You need to grab a pattern for the procedure. So there has to be a trick. It's maybe you are reading the Kaplan kit, you are reading the past paper solutions, and you are unconsciously or maybe consciously rote learning the procedure. That should not be the case. Guys, I think we should continue and let's finish the stage number 1, because we are still at the stage 1. So we already discussed the exam format. There will be 3 CRQs. Each and every CRQ will have different sub-exam requirements. And let me tell you, the CRQs will have a combination of minor topics and major topics, application-based CRQs and knowledge-based questions as well. Now, let's move towards the final part of the stage 1. Why AA students fail this paper? Why there is a failure rate? Why students fail in AA? Well, unfortunately, you can also fail this paper if you are not working on your typing speed, if you are not practicing the questions appropriately. So if you are just reading the past paper answers, or even if you are just reading my drafted answers through the latest master file, well, that is not the correct approach. You should type the answers with the same pattern, with the same steps which I've discussed in the lectures. So you need to type the answers. Well, we already discussed one of the most common reasons behind the AA failure is poor score in the section A of the exam, and the importance of the ACCA Study Hub section A. Go grab section A lectures. I'm telling you. You have to score a reasonable number when it comes to bookish knowledge. So knowledge base, it comes around 10 to 15 marks, on an average 10 to 12 marks at least. So bookish knowledge is important. The greatest hack of preparing the bookish knowledge is, if you are preparing a CRQ, let's say it's called Magpie. It's a CRQ. It's a recent past paper question on audit risk, for example. Now, the part B is about ratios. The part C is about audit risk and the auditor's response. The part A is about the purpose of the engagement letter, or the benefits of audit planning, or different and discussion and the importance of materiality and performance materiality. Now, whatever the part A is, the failures will focus on the part B and C because it's about audit risk and the auditor's response. But those who want to ace the exam comprehensively in flying colors, they will respect the part A bookish knowledge as well. They will read it twice, they will type it twice, they will give respect to the bookish knowledge along with the application based question, and bang, you're ready for the bookish knowledge. So my tip for the bookish knowledge would be, if you are going to prepare 2 CRQs per day, or maybe 1 CRQ per day from today onwards, just give respect to the bookish knowledge as well. Don't skim it, don't just read it, don't overlook it. Fifth reason is drafting technique. I will try my level best and I will teach you the drafting technique of audit risk. And for the details in relation to other topics, I'm sure the VIFHE is available, and the drafting technique is important for ethics, for corporate governance, for audit risk, for controls, and most importantly, the most important thing, the backbone, substantive procedures. Do not ignore minor areas during the exam preparation. Many AA aspirants would start preparation somewhere around 15th August, and they will realize, okay, fine, let's play. 3 weeks left. They will ignore ethics and acceptance. They will ignore corporate governance. They will ignore completion review and reporting, such as going concern, subsequent events, audit report, and they will focus only on audit risk controls and procedure. They will ultimately, once they start ignoring the minor topics, they will ignore the bookish knowledge as well. They will eventually score pathetic marks in the section A as well. So they will end up scoring 42, 46, 44, 36. If their preparation for the major areas would be superb, even then they will end up scoring 48, 49. If you will ignore the minor areas, if you will ignore the section A of the exam, if you will not give respect to the bookish knowledge, you cannot pass this paper. You have to attempt assignments as a test, those who have got the opportunity, and for everyone at VIFHE. If you are part of my regular batch, if you are part of my post result reset batch, if you are going to be part of my revision course starting from today, or should I say tomorrow, well, the mock for each and every one across all the three batches would be same. So we don't differentiate, we don't highlight, we don't even know whether the student belongs to the regular batch or the revision batch. So you should, you must and you should attempt the final mock exam according to my instructions. And one thing is for sure, that mock will be genuinely marked line by line. You will receive commentary and a constructive feedback so that you could realize, okay, fine. That is why I've lost the mark. Okay, fine. That is why I've lost the mark. So you will receive comments and you will get to know what mistakes you have committed. And as a result of that, and you will get your result at least 4 to 5 days before the final exam. So that will help you in overcoming your problems. So is there anyone uh, is there anyone who can testify who's part of the batch? Are you guys did you guys receive your assignment as a marked script, guys? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So that's how we operate. Thank you, Saiba. Thank you very much. So that is how we operate at VIFHE for both AA and AAA. You will get the feedback, and as a result of that, you will improve as a student. So mock is very important, and I hope so, Saiba, you will attempt the final mock exam as well. AFM, AFM. I noticed it will complete. Um, why are we discussing AFM? AA is not analytically or technically complex if you know the drafting technique. So this is it. I think we are finally done with the first part of this session. And what about the three perspectives of AA? Always prepare the section A, always prepare the bookish knowledge, and as a result of that, the application based questions would become much easier. Imagine if you scored 8 out of 30 in section A. Imagine if you scored 2 out of 15 in minor areas or bookish knowledge. Your score would be 10 out of 45. Now, in order to pass the paper, and I'm not saying in order to pass the paper comprehensively or in order to pass the paper in flying colors, I'm just saying in order to pass the paper, a mere pass, you need a miracle which is called 40 out of 55. What do you think? If you have scored 8 out of 30 in section A, you are done with the 40 to 40 minutes of your exam, your body language will be dropped. You will have low energy. You will be tired and drained, both mentally and physically, although just 1 hour have gone by because things are not going in the right direction. So 8 out of 30 and 2 out of 15 means you have scored 10 out of 45. And now, well, the bad news is you are not Tom Cruise, and this is a mission impossible. 40 out of 55 is not going to be easy. On the contrary, if you could score 20, 24 out of 30, 10 out of 15, well, boy, your score is 34 out of 45, and you need 16 out of 55, which means you need less than a quarter. So that makes your life so easy. I will build your concepts with the help of drafting techniques and the master file and the knockout punches. And yes, you've got the opportunity, guys, because the result because we are entering in the last month before the final exam, you still have got opportunities to attempt the last two assignments based on substantive procedures. But long story short, if you want to, you can still target the mock exam. So yes, together we can ace the exam on Monday, 7th September 2026. This is it. I am done with the first stage of this lecture. Now I will check out the um chat box, but before that, please allow me to start and finish the second stage as well, because second stage will not last more than 5 minutes. So now this is the second stage. Do I have a solid plan, a sure shot plan, a plan which is realistic, a plan which has created so many success stories over the last few years? Absolutely yes. In fact, the student who scored first position from Sri Lanka, Ashfa Naima, I hope I've mentioned the correct name. She said, I was enrolled in a college in my neighborhood, in my city, and they covered all the knowledge. So I was good with the concept and the knowledge, but I had zero practice of the past paper questions and the section A questions, and I was not confident with respect to drafting technique. So she joined my revision batch only. This is something which she told. I think that is available in the feedback as well. So she joined my batch for the sake of past paper questions, the drafting technique, and she ended up scoring 83. Yes, 83 in the double A. So you can do the same. So please, if you can, if you can read it. So I started studying double A in April with very little confidence, as theory and past paper questions seemed completely different. The webinars on VIFHE's YouTube channel gave me the hope and direction I needed. With only few weeks remaining, my goal was simply to pass the paper. Achieving first position in Sri Lanka has made me incredibly happy. And you know what? To be very honest, the revision course was especially valuable. It provided important pointers on how to tackle challenging questions, particularly those in section A, which gave me much more confidence during the exam. So I would not have been able to accomplish this. Will especially the master file, the unique strategies, and all that. Guys, I'm telling you, even if you have zero preparation right now, you can still pass this paper. All you have to do is trust the process and stay consistent. Now, what is that process? Let's start the stage two. This is a plan which I've created with all my energy and dedication. Let's call it the double A revision batch plan for the September 2026. This plan includes top 30 CRQs. This plan includes section AOT cases from Kaplan Study Hub and BPP. Mind you, whatever I am about to present and whatever I have presented so far is available to the regular batch student, is available to the post result reset batch student, and will be available to the revision course students as well. So join now. Now, please realize the section A of your exam is actually the make or break part of the exam. So you got to give it the respect it deserves. Now, according to the VIFHE, revision course started from 5th August. That is yesterday. But according to me, let's assume that after attending the webinars on 6th and 7th August, let's assume that you will join the revision course. Well, ideally speaking, you should join the batch today. But let's assume even if you join the batch from 8th August, no problem. So mind you, 6th and 7th August are the webinar days. Day 1 is today, day 2 is tomorrow. We will have multiple live sessions, especially relevant to the syllabus area D and E, which is the problem child across the globe. In between 10 to 18th August, I will tell you when and how, where we are going to have a live session. VIFHE mock exam will be on 22nd August, Saturday. And then it takes about 7 to 8 days to mark each and every script. So some of you might get their result on 24th, some of you might get their result on 25th, 26th, 27th. But I'm sure by the end of August till 30th or 31st August, each and every one of you will get the feedback, the result, the marks, the comments, the everything. And then we will have mock debrief session on 1st September. Still, you will have good enough time, I would say 1 week. So the final exam, the ACCA final exam, is on Monday, 7th September. Now, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th August, 4 days, attend my lectures on the audit risk, especially the knockout punch on audit risk. And these are my top 10 CRQs. Once you will prepare the top 5 CRQs and once you will type them twice, you will be in love with the 6th CRQ. And you will be in love with the 7th or the 8th CRQ. The first 5 CRQs are going to be difficult. But after that, you will realize that the 9th CRQ is a combination of first 8 CRQs. After 5 to 6 CRQs, when you will attempt the 7th CRQ, when you will watch the lecture, when you will type it, you will realize that the 7th CRQ is 99% similar to the first 6 CRQs. So if you blend the first 6 CRQs, you can make the 7th CRQ. Same goes for the 8th. So this topic is highly monotonous, repetitive. So I will teach you the drafting technique. I'll give you the flavors in the today's session as well with the help of a question called Magpie. And these are my top 10 CRQs for audit risk. Then another 4 days for syllabus area C, and you need to attend the knockout punch on not the audit risk on internal controls. And these are the CRQs relevant to the same. And the same logic goes for the controls. Petra, Dali, all those lectures, all those drafting techniques, all those questions are available through the master file. All those lectures are available through the VIFHE LMS. These are all latest past paper questions. In fact, some of the questions such as these two, such as I believe Pimento and maybe survival solutions, these questions are not even available in the exam kit because they are latest questions. So that is why they are only available on the ACCA practice platform. Anyways, then another 5 days for the syllabus area D and E, and you got to attend the mandatory substantive procedure knockout punches 1 to 7. And as a result of that, these past paper questions would become so easy for you. So final instruction, if you want to maximize your chances of passing the AA, please do not compromise on these instructions. These top 30 questions should be prepared one by one after attending my relevant lecture. And please realize the importance of section A. Well, this is something I've emphasized, and to be honest, I cannot emphasize the importance enough in relation to the section A. Solve every section A OT case on your own first, and then attend my lecture relevant to the same using Kaplan, BPP, and most importantly, Study Hub. If you're a working professional and you have to make a compromise on one, okay, compromise on BPP, but do not make a compromise on these two. Instruction number 2, the top 30 CRQs. Watch my lecture, type the answer twice using the master file. The latest master file, I will definitely share the latest master file probably through the LMS tomorrow and through the WhatsApp tonight. So yeah, get ready for the new master file. Don't worry about it. I will share it with everyone. Third and the final instruction is attend all the live sessions. Yes, if you are going to join the batch today, you have already missed a lot of live sessions. And there are multiple live sessions coming up as well. Attend all of them. If you have missed a live session, attend the recording. Recordings are available through the LMS. And as a result of that, once you attend all the live sessions and the upcoming live sessions, which will be conducted in the upcoming days, because in the upcoming days, my focus is on substantive procedures and the past paper questions relevant to it. So if you will follow these instructions and if you will remain consistent and if you will stop doubting yourself and if you will become consistent, I don't need motivation. I need consistency. I'm sure that together we will have a winning day on Monday, 7th September 2026. I'm sure about it. I'm done with the stage number 2 as well. And now I need to move towards the third and the final stage. But before that, let me sneak into the chat box and just check out what's going on. Sir, you are right. Then very benefit paid. Always start from the easiest question. Yes, agreed. We need to start from the easiest question. How much time should we spend in section A during the exam? Minimum 30 minutes. Ideal 35 minutes, maximum 40 minutes. So do not exceed 40 minutes. And trust me, if you will cover all the section A questions using my lectures, with the help of Kaplan, BPP, and StudyUp, you will not take more than 30 minutes. So 30, 35 minutes. So if somebody is solving the section A in 20 minutes, no, I will not be happy. If somebody is taking more than 40 minutes, I will not be happy. 30 to 40, well, obviously I can't come up with one digit or one number. Okay, 33. No. So 30 to 40, some maybe 35 is a good number, is a very good number. Will you please share these slides? Which slides? I think you want to get hold of this revision plan document, right? Yes, I will share this document right after this session. Section A, max 54 minutes. No, 54 minutes. No. Let me give you the breakdown of the 40 minutes maximum for section A question. Then first CRQ 60 minutes, followed by another two CRQs 40 minutes each. Now, if you add them up, this is exactly 180 minutes, 3 hours. If somebody wants a plus 5 minutes over here, because usually this is a lengthy question, you can always cut it down to 35 and you can always have 65 over here. Is this clear? Can I have multiple yes on that? Okay, thank you very much. For the knowledge based exams, yes, my knowledge for the knowledge based questions, the file which I called all bookish knowledge questions, that's more than enough. But still, I would say instead of only relying on that file and instead of assuming that one day you will learn everything from that file, why don't you start paying respect to the bookish knowledge on a bits and pieces level? So start small. If you're preparing a CRQ, let's call it Magpie. Why don't you prepare the part A as well? That's a more realistic approach. Uh, how can I prepare straightforward bookish knowledge? For straightforward bookish knowledge, I just shared the plan for OT cases. All the Kaplan Kit OT cases are spread across the LMS. For Study Hub, there is a separate tab at the bottom of the LMS for BPP and Study Hub, which contains all the lectures. Sir, if you go live anywhere on Zoom or YouTube, please send the link to the group. Well, tomorrow we have got another session, and after that, we don't have any session. After that, we have only sessions for the enrolled students. So, yeah, tomorrow you can join. Not having access on Study Hub, what to do? Why you are not having access of what Study Hub? You can have access of the Study Hub. Anyone can have it. Use your credentials, use your ACCA registration number and password. Laptop not working. Well, you need to make sure that it's fixed as soon as possible because you need to ace the exam, right? I recently passed my SBR, but I haven't passed audit exam because time. No worries, you can pass the AA exam in the September attempt. When you will attempt your final mock exam for me, when you will attempt your final exam for ACCA on Monday, 7th September, always start with section A. Section A is demanding. So if you will start from section B, after 2 to 2.5 hours, you will be physically and mentally drained. So section A requires a fresh version of you. So start with the section A. This was a question I received as a direct message, so I've answered it. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I think I have covered everything. I have covered everything using the chat box, and it's time for me to move towards the third and the final stage of the today's lecture. So, guys, can you write yes in the chat box? Are we done with the stage one and stage two? I will share the document which is called the revision batch plan. Don't worry. Can I, can I have multiple yes? Please try to avoid direct message so that everyone else can see it as well. Thank you very much, guys, for the active participation. Thank you. That's the spirit. I think we all are well settled. We all are motivated. We have got the direction. We can do this. This is doable, guys. By the way, listen to me. A very important point. Once you will be done and dusted with this double A revision plan, even if you're a regular batch student, reset batch student, or if you will join the batch now as a revision batch student, once you will be done with my mock exam on Saturday, 22nd August. So from 23rd August till 7th September, which is your final exam day, you will have another 15 days. 15 days when you will have 15 days after attempting the mock exam. For those 15 days, I will give you a plan. Now, you might be wondering, another plan? More questions? More stuff to prepare? New things? New questions? Not at all. Trust me, once we are done with the final mock exam on Saturday, 22nd August, after covering top 30, or maybe you would have made a little compromise here and there, I will come up with a new plan, but I promise that new plan will have no new questions, no new lectures. But yes, I will give you a plan which will make you re-prepare these things, which will make you more perfect in terms of time management. But trust me, I will not come up with another set of top 30 questions. Not at all. I will not teach you a new drafting technique for audit risk or procedures. No. Even if for the last 15, 16 days, for the last 15, 16 days, I will ask you to solve certain past papers. But when you will check out the past paper from the year 2023, from the year 2024, from the year 2025, mind you, for each and every year, we have got two papers, March, June, and September, December. You will realize those past papers are already well covered and well prepared by you. How? Because all those past papers are part of my top 30 goddamn questions. So don't worry. Yes, this plan will start from tomorrow, or to be honest, day after tomorrow, starting from 8th August. You can join from today. You can start from today, because there was another reason why I started from 8th August, because many of my current students are already preparing another topic. That is why I wanted to start from 8th August. Guys, from 8th August till 22nd August, it means 15 days. Once you are done with those 15 days, you will still have 15 days. And for those 15 days, I will not recommend any new question. And still, I will come up with a plan, and as a result of that plan, your preparation will jump from 60 out of 100 to 80 out of 100, from 40 out of 100 to 65 out of 100. But it's a promise. I will not come up with new questions. I will not come up with new lectures. So realize this is doable. Boy, this is doable. Game on. Yes, you hold the key now. The ball is in your court. If you want to pass the paper, you have to start behaving from today. If you will fail the paper, you are going to be responsible alone, no one else, because I have shared a realistic plan. It's doable. This is not a difficult paper. For every topic, the first 5 CRQs will create a pain, and then on, everything is going to be smooth. Guys, let's go for the so just before I start the third and the final part of the today's lecture, I've got a query uh, from Basit. I recently passed my SBR. Okay, but you have not passed the double A. So were you so you attempted double A in June, and were you part of my batch, Basit? Okay, so you attempted the paper in June, and you were part of the AA batch as well. So Basit, what were your scores in the 6 assignments and the mock exam? Can you also share that? You attempted SBR and AA in June. You passed SBR, but unfortunately you failed AA. So did you solve all the assignments and the mock exam? And one more question, did you watch all the section? Okay, no. Okay, then, well, in that case, the next question is not relevant. So, guys, those who are listening, those who are listening to me right now, and those who are checking out the chat box right now. So, Basit is saying he attempted SBR and AA in June. So he has got the caliber, right? He has got the caliber. He passed SBR, so there is no doubt on his competence and capabilities. He passed SBR. Probably he followed the directions and the right technique, but he failed AA. Why? Because he is saying that whatever the reason is, because of job and whatever, you have to prioritize your studies as well. Job is important, but studies are equally or maybe more important, right? So Basit, what you have to do is you should join the revision course, grab couple of assignments on procedures. If that is not possible, target the mock exam. Target the bloody mock exam. You will receive the feedback and things will improve dramatically. Join the revision course and please start paying respect to number one, if possible, to the assignments, the 2 assignments on procedures. If that is not possible, start paying respect to the section A lectures. No compromise on that. And you have to attempt the mock exam. The mock exam will give you a booster shot of 10 to 15 marks. That's it. Basit, are you up for it? Contact me through the WhatsApp right after the session. I will give you the direct payment link so that you can join the batch in 2 minutes. Direct link for the revision course. Drop me the text right after the session. Thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, we are done. So 1 hour has gone and we are done with the stage 1 and the stage 2. It's time for me to move forward towards the third and the final stage. My dear double A students, welcome to an exciting class where we will be discussing a fairly recent past paper question exclusively focused on your syllabus area B, audit risk and planning. Just like any other past paper question, just like any other CRQ, there are 2 things which are absolutely sure shot in relation to the CRQ. Number one, it will definitely have a straightforward bookish knowledge question. Number second, it will have one straightforward bookish knowledge exam requirement, a bare minimum of one. So please recall the orientation, recall the common characteristics among the failure. Failures, they do not pay respect to the minor topics. Failures, they do not pay respect to the straightforward bookish knowledge. So when I will start exploring this past paper question, which I have selected for this particular lecture, you will realize, and by the way, this question is part of my top 30. You will realize that yes, there is a straightforward bookish knowledge exam requirement, which is not difficult. but many of you will not give it the due respect. So what you have to do it, you have to understand it, you have to read it couple of times, but don't stop over there, type it twice. So start giving respect to the bookish knowledge. Now, because this CRQ belongs to the syllabus area B, audit risk and planning, the second obvious thing is examiner will definitely ask you to describe audit risk and provide auditor's response. So think like an auditor, audit risk, auditor's response. Now, the burning question is, what is actually audit risk? Who are you? For the paper AA and AAA, you are an auditor. So, as an auditor, are you facing some risk? With the risk which you face as an auditor, that risk is called audit risk. Now, the question is, what is audit risk? You have been hired for the sake of auditing a company, and at the end of the day, the members of the company and even public at large or the stakeholders at large are expecting an audit report containing an audit opinion. So the greatest outcome from the auditor is the audit opinion. Now the question is, what is audit risk? Audit risk means that you as an auditor might fail in delivering your deliverable, and that deliverable is your audit opinion. So what if your audit opinion is inappropriate? So what if you say that the financial statements are expressing a true and fair view, but as a matter of fact, there are material misstatements in the financial statements. If that is the case, your opinion is not appropriate anymore, and this risk which you carry on your shoulders, whether you are working in Big Four, whether you are working in Europe, Africa, or Asia, this risk is called audit risk. So, as I always say, a driver faces the risk of accident. So an accident can be around the corner. A driver is facing the risk of an accident. Similarly, a stock market based investor is facing a risk of financial loss. Similarly, well, an ACCA student such as you are facing a risk of failure. If you will not follow the plan, if you will not follow my instructions, if you will not adopt the drafting technique, if you will not start paying respect to the section A of your exam, if you will not pay good enough respect to the bookish knowledge, and if you will just rote learn the answer without absorbing and understanding the drafting technique, if you will not type the top 30 CRQs twice or ideally speaking thrice, you will fail. So you are facing the risk as well. Now, with the similar ideology and with the similar approach, audit risk is the risk that the auditor might express an incorrect opinion. What do I mean by incorrect opinion? Auditor might come up with an opinion that the financial statements are reflecting a true and fair view, but as a matter of fact, there are material misstatements in the financial statements, which means the financial statements are not reflecting a true and fair view. Now, what about the drafting technique of audit risk? In fact, before we actually go for the drafting technique, audit risk has got two components, or in simple words, I can say there are two reasons behind audit risk. The first reason is called the risk of material misstatement. Material misstatement. Misstatement means assets are overstated or understated, liabilities are overstated or understated. Maybe a disclosure is omitted or inadequate. So this is a misstatement, but we only talk about material misstatements, something which will influence the financial statement, something which can affect the user of the financial statement. So a material misstatement in the financial statement, the risk of material misstatement in the financial statement, this is what we called ROMM, risk of material misstatement in the financial statement. Obviously, the material misstatement has to be in the financial statement because assets, liabilities are all part of the financial statements. Now, who prepares the financial statements? Risk of material misstatement is a client specific risk. Why? Because client prepares the financial statements. Auditor does not prepare the financial statements. If we do, it creates self-review threat. So because financial statements are prepared by the management, the risk of material misstatement is a client specific risk. As an auditor, I will evaluate the risk of material misstatement, but I cannot reduce it. I cannot eliminate it. The second reason behind the audit risk is called detection risk. Who's the detective? Auditor. So I have to make sure that I come up with proper team, proper planning, appropriate procedures, sufficient sample size. If I don't, I might not pick up, or I might miss out the misstatement in the financial statement. And that is what we call detection risk. So audit risk has got two components: detection risk and risk of material misstatement. Every past paper question is usually a blend of these two misstatements. If there are 10 misstatements in a question, or should I say, if there are 10 audit risk in a question, minimum one, most likely two out of the 10 would be detection risk, which means 8 out of 10 would be risk of material misstatement. So I will share a document where I list down all the detection risks. I will share it after probably tonight. So there is a very important document. You need to cover all the detection risks. One of the most common example in relation to the detection risk would be, if I am KPMG and if I am auditing VIFHE for the first time ever, as an audit team, as an engagement partner, as an audit engagement team, considering the fact VIFHE is going to be a new client for the audit team, we would lack knowledge and information in relation to that particular client, which is VIFHE, and this will not score complete mark. As a result of that, the audit team might apply inappropriate procedures. We might end up assuming or coming up with wrong assumptions. We might select wrong samples. We might apply wrong judgments. And as a result of that, eventually all that can lead to a situation where we might not pick up the material misstatements. So that increases the detection risk. Can we actually counter the detection risk? Yes, we can, by having experienced team, a team which has got prior experience of similar clients, by making sure that the audit team devotes more time on planning. The audit team needs to have greater sample size. The audit team need to remain alert throughout the audit, and that is how we can overcome the detection risk. Your AA examiner will always ask you to explain the risk, and along with that, tell me what is going to be your plan of action now. So you have to write the response as well. So this is the simple drafting technique for detection risk. But guess what? Yes, you guys are absolutely right in the chat box. But guess what? The crucial thing is the risk of material misstatement. Risk of material misstatement. There is a proper drafting technique for that. And with the help of today's lecture, we will cover everything. So let's go for it. Guys, this is the past paper question which I have selected for this particular lecture. The question is called Magpie, definitely part of my top 10 CRQs relevant to audit risk, definitely part of my overall top 30. So it is 1st July 20x5. And you are the audit supervisor in an audit firm called Crow and Company, and you are planning for the new client called Magpie Company, and Magpie has got a year ending 31st July. Okay. By the way, your client Magpie is a retailer of garden supplies, and they operate from 20 stores across the country. They've got 400 staff. Your audit manager already had a meeting with the client's finance director, and your manager has provided you with the following information. So I'm done with the introductory paragraph. I've got few valuable information, which is not that relevant for the question itself, but it is good in order to have the feeling of the question. So I'm the audit supervisor. I work in Crow and Company. I've got a new client called Magpie Company. I'm right in the middle of audit planning. This is a new client. They've got 20 stores. They supply garden supplies, and they've got 400 staff. So yeah, all good. So we are done with the introductory paragraph. Now, before I actually move towards the detailed information available in the question, let's go for the exam requirement. There are three parts. Part A, it is what we call straightforward bookish knowledge. This part A is also part of my file, which is the bookish knowledge file. Explain the purpose of an audit engagement letter. Purpose of an audit engagement letter. The purpose of an audit engagement letter is to make sure that both the parties agree and there are no shadow of doubt and the terms and conditions are well communicated, including the deadlines and the fee. So this is one of the purpose of the audit engagement letter. It also acts as a confirmation from both the parties. So there are multiple purposes of audit engagement letter. I am not asking who writes the audit engagement letter. Is it, you know, we are not asking what is audit engagement letter. We are asking what is the purpose of audit engagement letter. So you need to write two purposes for that and you will score 2 marks. Then there is another requirement along with that and list 4 items which should be included in an audit engagement letter. So for example, deadline, responsibilities of the management. So in this way, you need to refer 4 items which will be part of a typical audit engagement letter. So when you write 4 items, half mark each, and as a result of that, you will score another 2 marks. So guys, this part A belongs to syllabus area A. As per my memory, it is your chapter number from the study text, it is chapter number 4, ethics and acceptance. So this is all, this is not relevant to ethics, this is rather relevant to acceptance. So when you accept a client, we use a letter called engagement letter. There are multiple purposes of it. You need to write 2 purposes of engagement letter or 2 purposes of audit engagement letter, followed by 4 items. So a very well prepared student would end up scoring 4 out of 4. Now imagine and recall my same old theory. If you will score 24 out of 30 in section A, or maybe more than that, and if you will score 10 or 12 out of 15 in the minor areas, this is a minor area, ethics and acceptance syllabus area A, minor area. And along with the minor area, this is a bookish knowledge. So if you will score 12 out of 15 in the minor areas, in the bookish knowledge, and if you will score 24 out of 30 in the section A, your score would be somewhere around 36 out of 45. And you know what? You need to score 14. You need to score 14 out of, well, 14 out of the remaining 55 marks, which is 25%. So you need 1/4. And how much time you will have? Approximately 2 hours, because you will invest 30-40 minutes in the section A, approximately another 15 to 20 minutes on different bookish knowledge exam requirements. So 2 hours are left. 55 mark paper is available. You just need 14. And you know what? For those 55 marks, we have so many tests. We have so many drafting technique. We are going to prepare so many questions. We are going to have mock and much, much more. So imagine how much you will end up scoring. You will end up scoring, you will pass the paper in flying colors. So again, realize the importance of section A. Let's continue, and assuming that we are done with part A, and I really hope so that once you are done with this session, you will read the part A from the master file, and I hope so that you will type the part A, the solution of part A, at least twice after reading it twice. So I really hope so that you will pay respect to the part A. Don't just skim it, don't just read it, don't ignore it. Please type the answer at least twice. Let's go to the part B. Using the table below, you have to calculate 2 ratios for both years to assist you in planning the audit of Magpie. What 2 ratios? Operating profit margin and payables payment period. Now, what is the formula of operating profit margin? Operating profit. Yeah, part A is a bookish knowledge. Let's go for the part B. So part B is operating profit margin. What's the formula for operating profit margin? Operating profit divided by sales. And similarly, what is the formula for payable days? trade payables, the year-end payables divided by purchases, and if that figure is not available, then trade payables divided by cost of sales multiplied by 365 days. So guys, can you do the maths? Well, the financial statement extract is also available within the question, so you can easily calculate the operating profit margin and you can easily calculate the payable payment period as well. In fact, there are three more ratios already calculated within the question. So gross profit margin is also available in the question. Inventory holding period, which has gone up by a huge margin, 28 days to 54 days, that is also available in the question. And receivable collection period has gone up by a huge margin as well. So there is a 50% increase. So these three ratios are already available in the question. You have to calculate two more ratios, operating profit margin and the payable payment period. And my answer for operating profit margin would be 4.6% and 1.8%. So guys, there is a significant drop and a significant decrease in the operating profit margin from 4.6% to 1.8%. And shockingly, there is an increase in the gross profit margin from 44% to 50%, which is already available in the question. That is very strange. And there are multiple double A pass paper questions relevant to audit risk where there is an increase in gross profit margin, but a decrease in operating profit margin. And as an auditor, we have to be skeptic and we say there is a risk that the management have misclassified expenses, and as a result of that they have tried to boost their gross profit margin and the gross profit artificially, and as a consequence of that operating profit has gone down. So there is a risk of misclassification of expense which will be considered as a material misstatement. Okay, what about the receivable collection period? Can you calculate the receivable collection sorry, what about the payables payment period? Payables payment period, well, the data is available. Year-end payables such as 3.2 divided by 14.5 multiplied by 365. So that gives you 81 days, followed up by a drop in the payable payment period, 64 days. So guys, the breaking news is we are done with the part B as well. Moving forward towards the third and the final part, which is a mandatory exam requirement. So each one of you, when you will attempt your double A final exam, you will face the part C. It's a given. It's a sure shot thing. Examiner will ask you to use the information which the examiner has provided. Moreover, the ratios which you have calculated. So the ratios which you have calculated and the ratios the examiner has calculated. The ratios you have calculated and the story or the information available in the question. So when I say using the information provided, it means both the financial and the non-financial information and the ratios which you have just calculated, couple of them. Describe 7 audit risks and explain the auditor's response to each risk. Now comes the drafting technique. Now comes the marking scheme. The details are available through the different lecture, which is called the knockout punch. But let's quickly discuss something relevant to the drafting technique and something relevant to the marking scheme. When I say describe audit risk, there are 2 steps involved. Step number 1, identify the audit risk from the question paper. So it means you cannot assume the audit risk on your own. You must and you should identify the audit risk from the question paper, the information available in the question. That's your first step, identifying the audit risk, identifying the risk of material misstatement, identifying the detection risk from the question paper, and that gives you half mark. Second step, now you have to develop the risk. What do I mean by develop? Write down why is it a risk? Why is it a risk? Why you think that the client's accounting treatment is incorrect? Or why you think that the client's accounting treatment might be incorrect? Why you think that the client's accounting treatment is not in line with the accounting rules or the standard? So please understand, when I say develop the risk, First of all, you have to express your doubt why you think that the client's accounting treatment is wrong, why you think that the client's accounting treatment is incorrect, why you think that the client's accounting treatment is not in line with the standard or the accounting rule. And then you must move towards the next line and you must write that if the client's accounting treatment is incorrect, or assuming that the client's accounting treatment is not in line with the standard, which financial statement items would be under or over or misstated. So when I say develop the risk, step number one, discuss why is it a risk, why you think that it is not in line with the standard, and step number two, discuss which financial statement items would be under or overstated. That is how you write a risk of material misstatement. If it is a detection risk, you follow the same approach. You identify the detection risk from the question. You discuss that what could go wrong, but you don't discuss any accounting rule or any financial statement item. You just end by saying that it will increase the detection risk. I will give you an example on detection risk. Don't worry. So major differentiation between the two is when we discuss risk of material misstatement, we discuss why we think that the client's accounting treatment is wrong, why we think that the client has not followed the accounting standard or the rule, and which financial statement item would be over or understated. But when we discuss detection risk, we talk why auditor will apply wrong procedures, why auditor will have problem, why it will increase detection risk. We don't discuss financial statement items. We don't discuss accounting rules. For both the detection risk and the risk of material misstatement, or in simple words, for both the audit risk, both kinds of audit risk, examiner would ask you to provide your response. Your response means auditor's response. If there is a risk of material misstatement, what would you do? Maybe you will apply more procedures. Maybe you will apply more investigation. Maybe you will have discussion with the management. Maybe you will follow through. Maybe you will select samples. Maybe you will. So whatever action you will do, that is your response. Are you just going to hope against the hope that nothing will go wrong? No. Definitely in real life, when auditor realizes that there is a risk that receivables might be overstated, auditor always comes up with something. Auditor has to verify the valuation. And believe you me, believe you me, once you have covered my topic, my lectures relevant to substantive procedures, your auditor's response would improve dramatically. So if there is anyone who is preparing audit risk right now, and if you're struggling a bit with respect to auditor's response, hang on, have patience, try your level best. Once you will move towards the next topic, then after audit risk, there is syllabus area C, controls. But what about the next topic after controls? Once you will prepare substantive procedures, knockout punches. For example, in the knockout punch 6, we have discussed receivables. For example, in knockout punch 5, we have discussed intangible assets. For example, in knockout punch 4, we have discussed tangible non-current assets. Automatically, your auditor's response would start making much more sense, and your answers would improve dramatically. So you have to have patience and things will improve. Anyways, so I am done with the part A and part B, and I am done with the exam requirement of the most important part C, and I am done with the marking scheme. One auditor response will give you 1 mark. We are done with, we have just recalled the drafting technique as well. Now it's time for me to officially start this past paper question called Magpie. Here we go. Guys, you have got 30 seconds. Just read the portion which is visible. Ignore everything else. So guys, it is 1st July 20x5. You are the audit supervisor at Crow and Company, and you are finalizing the planning for your new client Magpie Company for the forthcoming audit for the year ending 31st July 20x5. You should not type each and every word, but if you can, you should use the copy paste technique. If you want to type it, you should squeeze it. So this is your first audit risk. Guys, we need to identify 7 audit risks. And when examiner says 7 audit risks, it means we are allowed to fetch both the risk of material misstatements and the detection risk. If examiner says describe 7 risk of material misstatement, you should ignore this one. Please listen to me very carefully. If your examiner says describe 7 risk of material misstatement, do not talk about detection risk. But if the examiner says, read the exam requirement, please. Read the exam requirement. Using the information provided and the ratios calculated, describe 7 audit risks. When I say audit risk, it means I'm allowed to have discussion on both risk of material misstatement and detection risk. Guys, examiner has asked you to describe 7 audit risks. What if I tell you in the question or in the solution, there are 10 audit risks? So can you use the chat box and let me know how many you are going to type and how many you are going to solve while attempting your final mock exam or the final exam? How many you are going to do? Imagine there are 10 available in the question, and imagine you are good with 9, but the exam requirement says 7. Even imagine you have got extra time left in the you're done with your final exam. You have got few extra time. Now, Shaista, you should consider joining the batch because I'm sure you will pass the paper after joining the batch. Guys, never ever, I repeat, never ever disobey your AA examiner. If your AA examiner has categorically mentioned describe 7 audit risks, you have to write only 7. Even if you are absolutely well prepared for the 8th one, for the 9th one, do not write an extra point. If you will write extra audit risk, examiner asked for 7 audit risks, imagine you wrote 8 audit risks. Imagine the AA markers are not going to even, they are not even going to read your 8th point, let alone marking it. They are not even going to glance at it. They will just mark the first 7 points. Imagine your first point was incorrect, but your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and 8th point, those 7 were correct, but the first one was incorrect. You know what? You will score 2, you will score 0 out of 2 in the first one. And then the next 6, I hope, I'm assuming you will score 12 out of 12. They will not read your 8 point. You will end up scoring 12 out of 14. Although your 8th or maybe your 9th point were absolutely correct. So for AA, if examiner has asked you to write, explain 2 ethical threats, 3 corporate governance deficiencies, 7 audit risks, 5 control deficiencies, 5 direct controls, do not exceed the number. Even if you have extra time. If you have got doubt over your second point, let's assume you're confident with respect to the first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh point, but you have got few doubts on your second point. Okay, remove it, erase it, get rid of it, and whatever you wanted to write on 8th point or 9th point, write it over there on the second point. But the total number has to be 7, because even if you attempt 8 or 9, nobody is going to read it, nobody is going to mark it. There is one exception. That is so me. I barely get time to finish the required. Absolutely, I agree. Okay, there is one exception. And what is that exception, guys? All of you, what is that exception? If you have got extra time, and well, first of all, I think you should have chit chat with your with you have to look around. Maybe somebody wants to talk to you. Look around. Maybe there is someone on your right, on your left, in the vicinity. Check it out. But if there is no one who's interested, or maybe you are not interested, so well, in that case, you can actually write extra procedures, extra substantive procedures. And there is a reason behind it. Your AA examiner will never say, write down 5 substantive procedures on receivables. Examiner will say, describe the substantive procedures the auditor would perform in order to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. It means examiner will not come up with a number. For example, 5 procedures, 7 procedures. Unlike audit risk, 7 audit risk, 6 control deficiencies, 5 direct controls, 2 ethical threats, 3 corporate governance deficiencies. So there is one exception only, and that is substantive procedures. So you can actually write extra procedures. But even for that part, I would say if there are 5 marks, you should take your time, plan your answer, manifest, create a roadmap, think, talk to yourself, recall my drafting technique on procedures, and make sure you are writing the procedures appropriately and according to the scenario. You might just need 5 procedures, but if you have time, and as I said, you don't have anyone to talk to, then you can write extra procedures. Is this clear? Can I have multiple yes on that? So how many audit risks we are going to prepare through this question called Magpie? All of them, maybe 8, maybe 9, maybe 10, I don't know. I'm sure more than 7. But how many we are going to write during the assignment or test or mock exam, or most importantly, the ACCA final exam? Only 7. Is this clear? Thank you very much. That's the spirit. So guys, we are done with the first. We only need 7. And we are done with the first. Let's see how do we draft the first risk, well, first audit risk. So you can squeeze it. Crow and company are finalizing the planning for the new audit client called Magpie Company. You can squeeze it if you want to. If you want to copy paste the entire information, it's up to you. But there is just half mark for that. Now, you need to develop your point. And as I said, do not talk about the accounting rule or the financial statement item while discussing detection risk. Detection risk is auditor specific risk. So think about it. How are we going to develop the point? Think about it. That's your think board. Let's think. I'm the auditor and this is a new client. So I will lack experience, right? So I've got the information from the question. I've got the fact from the question that this is a new client. I've got half mark. But is it a risk? Is it a risk? Yes, it is. Give me a second, please. Yes, it is a risk, but how it is a risk? How it is a risk? Think about it. It is indeed a risk, and we have to think about it. And how are we going to think about it? Let's start now. Why is it a risk? If it's a new client, how it creates a problem? It creates a problem because we, the audit firm, we, the audit team, will lack experience in relation to Magpie because it's a new client for us. Okay, but that will not score complete 1 mark. It is not good enough to score complete mark. Many students will write only this because this is a new client, we lack experience. Thank you very much. Bye bye. No, 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 no. We must say, considering the fact it's a new client, we will lack experience. And as a result of that, we might apply inappropriate procedures. We might reach incorrect conclusions. We might miss out the material misstatements in the financial statement. And as a result of all that, detection risk will be increased. Now you have got complete 1 mark. Take your time, please evaluate the think board and realize the difference between an average answer, which will not make you pass the exam, and a fantastic answer. An average answer would say, it's a new client, we lack experience. Thank you very much. No, a good answer would say, it's a new client, we lack experience. And as a result of that lack of experience, we might apply inappropriate procedures. We might reach incorrect conclusions. We might miss out the material misstatements. And this increases detection risk. So this is how you score your complete 1 mark. Please check it out. If you will write in such a way that you will explain that why it actually increases detection risk, or should I say how it actually increases the detection risk, then you will score your 1 mark. Now, the next question is, you have scored 1 mark, but you need to score 1 more mark. What is going to be your response? You are an audit supervisor, right? What is going to be your response now? I think we need to devote I think we need to devote more time on this audit client. Guys, if you will just write that we will lack experience and as a result of that detection risk will be increased, you will not score complete 1 mark. In order to score your complete 1 mark, you must write that as a result of that I might apply incorrect procedures, I might not understand the transactions and the culture of the company, I might not pick up the material statement. So you have to develop your point. Now what is going to be your response? Think about it. I think we need to engage the most experienced audit team. No one will have the Magpie experience because it's a new client, but maybe we will have industry specific experience. So if Magpie is a telecom company, we might have guys who have got other experience in relation to the telecom industry. So engage experienced staff with relevant industry experience. Devote more time on planning and understanding the client so that we could understand the client. We could come up with better risk assessment. And overall, we need to increase the substantive testing so that we could reduce the detection risk. So that is how we score another 1 mark. Guys, if you will invest approximately 15 minutes on this particular risk and the response right after this lecture, trust me on that, out of 10 CRQs, 3 to 4 CRQs will have the same detection risk. Detection risk has got multiple examples. This is one of the most common one. Let's go for the second paragraph of the question. And you have got a couple of minutes to read the second paragraph. During the year, what happened? Are you familiar with a word called refurbishment? Guys, whenever a company refurbishes its building, its plant, its, whatever it is, refurbishment has got a blend of both, has got a blend of both. The word refurbishment has got a blend of both well done capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. According to I-16, we can actually capitalize the capital expenditure as a non-current asset, but we must and we should charge the revenue expenditure as a maintenance cost within the profit and loss account as an expense. So it means there is a risk that the client has not followed the rule appropriately. And what if certain items which are not truly capital in nature have been wrongly capitalized, and therefore the year end tangible non-current assets would be overstated and the profit would be overstated as well. Why profit would be overstated as well? Because you have not charged the revenue expenditure as an expense. So guys, think about it. Read the question. Don't go for the solution as of now. Read the question. During the year, what happened? You've got a couple of minutes. So during the year, the company spent 0.75 million on refurbishing its stores. They've got 20 stores, right? So to improve the customer experience, all of this expenditure, all of what? All of that expenditure, the entire 0.75 million has been recognized in the statement of financial position as property, plant, and equipment. Who are you? You are an auditor. What you have to be? You have to be skeptic. And what does that mean? It means you have to have doubt in your mind regarding the accounting treatment adopted by the client. So you should think that what if certain items within the 0.75 million are not truly capital expenditure? So let's go towards the think board. So they have capitalized everything. All the expenses have been capitalized by the client. Maybe they are correct, but as an auditor, as a good auditor, I should have a doubt in my mind. There is a risk. What is the risk? What if certain items do not meet the capitalization criteria? There is a risk. Remember, what is the drafting technique? Step number 1, identify the risk of material misstatement from the question. Step number 2, develop the point. And how do you develop? First of all, you will write why there is a risk. And finally, the impact on the financial statement items. There is a risk that certain items within the 0.75 million they do not meet the capitalization criteria according to I-16 property plant equipment. Full stop. Now, what is the impact? As a result of that, the year-end tangible non-current assets would be overstated and the profit would be overstated as well. So please check out my answer. There is a risk that some of the revenue expenditures have been incorrectly capitalized within the tangible non-current assets. They do not meet the criteria. As a result of that, or if this is the case, the year-end property plant equipment would be overstated and the expenses would be understated. What should be my response now? What should we do now? If you will just write why is it a risk, you will not score your mark. If you will directly write the impact, you will not score the mark. You have to write why is it a risk, why you think that the client's accounting treatment could be wrong, why you think that the client's accounting treatment is not in line with the accounting rule, and then you have to write the impact on the financial statement item such as property, plant, equipment, and the expenses. Now, what would be your response? I am the auditor. Can I get the details in relation to the 0.75 million from the client? Yes. Can I ask them for the supporting documentation? Yes. But many double A failures will only write, get the supporting documentation from the client. An examiner will not give you marks for that. Supporting documentation such as invoices. So don't just say supporting documentation. Ask yourself, check out the thing board. You need to write the auditor's response. Now the response should be in line with the risk. What is the risk? That the 0.75 million might have revenue expenditure as well. So your response has to be directly in line with the risk. Think about the risk. Ask yourself, what if certain items do not meet the criteria? How would I know? I think I should get the breakdown of the 0.75 million and I should understand the nature of expense for each and every item. And I can only understand the nature of those expenditures by reviewing the supporting documentation such as invoices so that I could establish whether they are capital in nature or not. If they are capital in nature, it's all right. If they are not capital in nature, I will request the management to remove it and write it off. Guys, you have got a couple of minutes. Please read this entire audit risk and the response. We are done with the second audit risk. So we are done with two audit risk along with two auditors' response. Let's continue with the question and let's go for the third one. So my client installed a new sales system during the year. Wow. My client Magpie company installed a new sales system during the year. In addition, the company installed a new sales system during the year. Okay, what does that system do? It records all sales and receivables. The system enables daily sales from each store to be automatically reported to the centralized finance department. So they've got 20 stores. Each and every store will have that new system. Each and every sale will be amalgamated into the finance department. That's great. As the system is from a market leading provider, so it's a reliable system. It's a very famous system. That is why the management of Magpie felt that there is no need to run the old and the new system parallel. Do you think, who are you? You're an auditor. Do you think this could create a problem? What if the balance, the closing balance of the old system is not correctly translated into the new system? What if there are mistakes when they translate it from one system to the other? And because they are not running the two systems parallel for a reasonable period of time, what if the new system has got certain issues? What if there are certain problems with the new system? They will never get to know because they are not running both systems parallel. They have switched all at once. So there is a risk, multiple risk. The company installed a new sales system during the year and they did not run the old and the new system in parallel. Well, why is it a risk? Well, opening balances of the new system from the old system may not have been transferred accurately. That's my first apprehension. What is apprehension? A fear for the future, a doubt. So my first doubt is, why is it a risk? I have to express my doubt. What if the opening balances of the new system, which have been copied or transferred from the old system. Maybe there is a mistake while transferring the data. Additionally, what if the new system has got certain errors which would be realized over the period of time, but they are not running the two systems in parallel? As a result of that, the year-end sales and receivables both could be materially misstated. I will not say overstated, I will not say understated. Because this system has got to do with sales and receivables, I would say sales and receivables both could be materially misstated. So this is all basic common sense. If a student would write in a way, the company has installed the new system during the year and they did not run both the systems in parallel. As a result of that, sales and receivables could be misstated. You will not score mark because you have identified the risk and you have directly jumped towards the impact. When I mark the script, I realize many AA students would identify the risk and they will straight away jump towards the impact. You must, before you write the impact on the financial statement items, you must write why is it a risk. There is a risk because what if the balances were not correctly transferred? What if the new system has got errors in it? What should be your response? What are you going to do as an auditor now? Well, I think I need to extend. Well, I cannot ensure that both systems were running in parallel. This is something which the client had to do. I can't do a thing now. What can I do? This happened during that. What can I do? I will thoroughly document and test the new system. I will perform testing for the new system. I will increase my year-end substantive testing for both sales and receivable for this year because the risk of material misstatement for receivables and the revenue because of the new system is on the higher side. So A, I will test the new system on my own. B, I will increase my substantive testing for receivables and revenue. You guys have got couple of minutes. Please read this. We are done with 3 audit risks. We need 7. We will be slow. We will ensure that each one of them is given the due respect. Extend the sample and test the system and ensure opening balance. Yes, we really, it's going to be difficult to test the opening balances. Please try and understand these are not the opening balances of the financial statement. These are the opening balances of the system. So I will say, yes, apply as much as testing and documentation in relation to the new system and increase the overall year-end substantive testing for receivables and revenue. Basit is saying how. What if the new system had few errors, which the client did not realize, and as a result of that, the year-end receivables and revenue for this year could be materially misstated. So as an auditor, I will apply more and more substantive testing so that if there are material misstatements, I could pick them out. The client introduced a new system during the year. Without further testing, they started relying on it from the day one. So at the year end, what I have to do is I have to realize because system was new. So the year end financial statement, which is the resultant of the new system, might have material misstatement. So A, I will try to test the system itself, but at the same time, I will extend my substantive testing as well. So it's a combo auditor's response. It has got 2 dimensions and 2 directions. I will try and test the system as much as I can, but at the same time, I will increase my substantive testing for those financial statement items which are possibly affected. Guys, we are done with 3 audit risks. Let's go for 4th. Please read it. The cash is then counted. Customers are able to pay for their goods using either cash or credit card. At the end of the working day, the store manager generates a report from each cash register which confirms the cash takings. The cash is then counted and compared to the report. Since the new sales system was installed, head office now receives daily cash taking reports which have shown an increased number of cash shortages at each store. The difference have not been investigated or reconciled on the basis that they have only been small amounts. So there are differences, but those differences were not investigated because those differences were small amounts. Well, that could mean that there are frauds going on. Guys, if there are consistent differences, why there is a risk? Think about it. Think like an auditor. Read the identification part again. Go to the think board. Head office has now realized, ever since the new system has been introduced, that there are consistent differences of small amounts. Think about it. Why those differences? Maybe some cash fraud is going on. Why is it a risk? Maybe financial statements are materially misstated because of a consistent ongoing fraud. But that's not enough. You have to write more. You have to say there is a risk that those discrepancies are due to fraud, with small cash shortages potentially becoming material when aggregate. So on a daily basis, the difference is a very small amount. But what about those small differences aggregated over the 365 days? What about those small amounts aggregated across multiple stores that could end up being a material misstatement in the financial statement due to fraud? So whenever there is a discussion on fraud, we always say, and there is a huge possibility more aspects of this fraud or similar frauds are yet to be uncovered. So please try and understand. Management ignores those differences on a daily basis because those are small amounts. But what if those small amounts, when aggregated across the entire year, when aggregated across multiple stores, they end up being a significant amount, which leads to a material misstatement in the financial statement due to fraud? So, what should be your response now? As an auditor, what are you going to do now? Well, you must have you must have a discussion with the directors, and you must ask them that what is their point of view regarding those cash shortages. Don't they think this is a indication of a fraud? Anyways, after making them realize what is really going on, you as an auditor will extend your substantive testing in relation to the cash, because you might uncover the fraud. The prevention and detection of fraud is primarily the management's responsibility. Because frauds leads to material misstatements in the financial statements, you as an auditor, you have got your responsibility as well. First of all, you will wake up the directors, and then you will apply extraordinary procedures. You might pick up the material misstatement, you might pick up the fraud. Well done. Discuss the issue with the finance director, apply extraordinary professional skepticism in relation to the cash balances, and increase your substantive testing in relation to the same. Well done. So finally, we are done with 4 risk of material misstatement. Let's go for the 5th one. Guys, can you read the next paragraph on your own? You have got a couple of minutes for that. Please read it. And before you actually read the next paragraph, let me tell you the receivable collection period, which we calculated. No, we didn't calculate. It was available in the question. The receivable collection period has gone up from 101 days to 150 some days, as per my memory. Yes, 101 days. Check this out, please. The receivable collection period has gone up from 101 days to 149 days. And their credit policy is that they allow a credit term of 90 days. Guys, you have got a couple of minutes. Please use both of these information. The information which is available right at the bottom of your screen, and the information which I just shared in relation to the receivable collection period going up from 101 days to 149 days. Develop your answer. Use the chat box. Develop your answer. You have got a couple of minutes for that. This is one of the most common and recurring audit risks. So the level of receivables which are overdue for payment has increased from the prior year. You can see that the receivable balance has gone up from 7.2 million to 9 million, according to the financial extract given in the question. However, the finance director believes that there is no need for an extra allowance. If you have attended my lecture, or if you will attend my lecture, Substantive Procedure Knockout Punch 6, you will understand receivables in much more detail. So the finance director believes that there is no need for allowance. But adding insult to the injury, the receivable collection period has gone up from 101 days to 149 days. Who are you? You are an auditor. You have to be skeptic. So you have to write why is it a risk. There is a risk that the year-end receivables might not be recoverable. Don't directly jump towards the financial statement items. First of all, think this increase in receivable amount, this increase in the receivable collection period, that indicates that the year-end receivables might be overstated. But you should not directly say that because there is an increase in receivable amount and the receivable days, receivables would be overstated. No, you need to write, you need to explain that there is an increased risk in relation to the recoverability of those year-end receivables. And there is a increased risk that the year-end allowance might be required or extra allowance might be required. If the client is not going to make the necessary adjustment, the year-end receivables might be overstated and the allowance for the doubtful debts or the expenses would be understated, because whenever we write off the receivable, it needs to be charged as an expense. What is going to be your action now? What is going to be your response now as an auditor? Well, I think this is about the valuation of receivable. So I think I should review the age receivable report and I should have a discussion with the management that certain receivables are aged, very much aged, and they need to write them off or create an allowance. Moreover, I will also check out the post year end bank statement and cash day book so that I could verify whether the receivables have now finally converted into cash or not. So check out the response. As an auditor, I will extend what? My testing. What testing? The substantive testing. Substantive testing in relation to what? In relation to receivables. But when? Post year end, after the year end, in relation to the cash receipt testing, whether those aged receivables have finally converted into cash or not, because the entire question or the issue is about the valuation or the recoverability of the receivables. So if we will realize that the receivables have not converted into cash, we will discuss with the director that there is a need to create an extra allowance for the aged receivables. Finally, we are done with 5 audit risks. This fifth one was really important and a very common one. Let's go for the sixth one. You've got a couple of minutes. Please try the sixth one on your own. Very lengthy story. You can always squeeze it. So your payable ledger clerk has carried out supplier statement reconciliation during the year, and on multiple occasions, the supplier statements have shown a balance owing by the company which is higher than the balance on the list of individual supplier balances. These differences have been included as a reconciling item on a supplier statement reconciliation by the ledger clerk, but no further work has been performed on these differences. Guys, those differences could be just the timing difference, but those differences could indicate frauds or errors. The bad news is, or the sad part is, no further work was performed. So the year-end payables could be overstated as well. Now, please check out that what extra information do we have. The payables payment period has gone down from 81 days to 64 days. It means the year end, well, we should have made extra work on the year end payables, right? So what is the risk? So according to the information available in the question, there were differences in the supplier statements and the individual payable balances. Moreover, there is a decrease in the trade payable days as well. So there is a possibility that the year-end payables are understated, because once you understate the payables, the numerator goes down, and as a result of that, the payable days goes down as well. Now that is not enough to score marks. You need to write there is a possibility that there are mistakes in relation to the cutoff. Maybe they have incorrectly deferred the payables into the next period just to reduce this year's payables. So as a result of that, the year-end payables would be understated, cost of sales would be understated, and profit would be overstated. So if there are issues in relation to the cutoff, the year-end payables would be understated. As a result of that, cost of sales would be understated as well. So what would be your response now? I think we should, according to the question, no further work has been performed on those differences. Why don't you do it as an auditor? I will review the supplier statement reconciliations, and then I will identify and understand the differences, and then I will have a discussion with the clerk and maybe with the payable director or finance director, and I will investigate those differences just to make sure whether those are purely timing differences or maybe the payables have been understated. So I need to make an effort on my own. So that was your sixth audit risk. Let's go for the seventh and the final audit risk. By the way, this question has got more than seven. Now, this one is easy. It has been discovered that the soil relating to a batch of plants with a cost price of 0.1 million is contaminated, meaning that the plants may not be able to sold. Well, there is a risk that the NRV of this 0.1 million might be below the cost. And according to IS2, we have to value the inventory at lower of cost NRV. What if because of contamination, the NRV is nothing whatsoever? What if it's a trash now? So if the inventory is not going to be written off, the year-end financial statements, well, inventory would be overstated and the expenses would be understated. Guys, please try and understand not only this issue, but moreover, the inventory holding period has also gone up. So, and even in the financial statement, the year-end inventory has gone up from 1.1 million to 1.6. So there is a huge possibility that management is struggling to get rid of this contaminated inventory. And as a result of that, the year-end inventory balance have gone up. As a result of that, the inventory holding period has gone up. So if if a particular product or if a particular raw material, if a particular inventory is contaminated, it is of no longer use. The year-end inventory has gone up, the inventory holding period has gone up. There is a risk that management might be struggling to get rid of this inventory. There is no alternative use for the contaminated inventory. And as a result of that, if they are not going to de-recognize the inventory, the year-end inventory would be overstated and the expenses would be understated. So if you will say a certain inventory is contaminated and as a result of that inventory would be overstated, this is not good enough to score mark. You have to write there is a possibility that that damaged inventory has got no alternative scrap value. The NRV might be below the cost, and as a result of that, in order to comply with IS2, the management must write off the inventory. Moreover, the inventory holding period and the inventory values have gone up, which also indicates that management is probably struggling to get rid of that inventory. So always write why is it a risk and then write the impact on the financial statement items. What are you going to do? I think just like receivables, you have to review whether management got successful in getting rid of this inventory, and if they did, at what price, whether the post year-end sale was greater than the cost, whether the NRV was greater than the cost. So select a sample of those inventory items and compare the purchase cost with the sale price after the year end. So I need to know that at what price the client actually sold that contaminated inventory. Was it over and above the cost? If that is the case, no adjustment is required. If the post year end selling price was below the cost, it means at the year end inventory needs to be adjusted and expense needs to be charged. So please read the response. Well, physical inspection of the inventory will not tell you anything. At the end of the day, it's a soil. It's contaminated. What are you going to do? You cannot, even if you will physically inspect it, you will not figure it out what's the NRV. You are bothered about the NRV. So you have to check out the actual selling price post year end. I hope this is clear now, Saiba. That's great. Thank you. Yes, it's about the valuation, and we can only confirm the valuation by not physically inspecting it, because at the end of the day, it's not car, it's not plant, it's soil. I think we need invoices for that. We are done with 7 audit risks, but by the way, this question has got couple of more, I guess. So another one is the report to management issued following the 20x4 audit indicated a significant number of deficiencies noted in the payroll cycle of the business. Guys, there were multiple deficiencies in the payroll system. If the controls in relation to the payroll were poor, what do you expect? I expect multiple incidents of frauds and errors going unnoticed. Those deficiencies, if not addressed by the management, will eventually means that the controls in relation to the payroll are weak, and as a result of that, there is a huge possibility of multiple frauds and errors. This is me writing why is it a risk. Now I'm moving towards the last sentence, impact. As a result of that, if there are frauds which have gone undetected, if there are errors which have gone unnoticed because management did not overcome the deficiencies in the payroll system, the year-end payables, the year-end payroll figures could be materially misstated. What should be your response? I think first of all, you need to have a discussion with the management, what action they took in relation to the deficiencies, and then you have to extend the substantive testing in relation to the payroll. That is a very obvious response. Let's go for the ninth one and the final one. Again, a very, very common audit risk. The gross profit margin, according to the question, has gone up from 44 days to 50 days. And according to your part B, operating profit margin has gone down from 4.6% to 1.8. So please read the question now, or well, read the step number one. The company's operating profit margin has gone down and the gross profit margin has gone up. This is, well, it is possible as well. But most probably, who are you? You're an auditor. Why there is a risk? There is a risk of misclassification of expenses. Maybe the directors have misclassified the cost of sales into operating expenses just to boost their gross profit artificially. If that is the case, the year-end financial statements, such as the gross profit margin, gross profit figure, and the operating profit would be materially misstated. What should be your response now? I think you should get the breakdown of the cost of sales and the operating expenses and compare it with the last year, look for unusual items, and as a result of that, you might spot some unusual movement which is not in line, which is not consistent with the last year or with the normal accounting policies. So guys, this particular question had 9 risks on your screen right now. Can you tell me, especially those who have attended multiple lectures of mine, can you tell me how many out of the 9 were old for you? If you have attended my top 5 or top 7 CRQs in relation to audit risk, or maybe top 10. So if you are part of the regular batch or the post result batch, any batch, any batch, can you tell me how many were them, how many were old, how many were new? Use the chat box. Those who are enrolled, can you answer this question? Use the chat box. New client, old. Capital versus revenue expenditure, old. Too old. Fraud, old. Receivable gone up, old. New sales system, probably old. Cost of sale, operating profit, gross profit, misclassification of expenses, 5 old. Inventory valuation, inventory overstated because of contamination, cost versus NRV, 6 old. So I've got 2 students, well, 3 students have shared the feedback so far out of so many students. One of them is saying 8 were old out of 9, and the other 2 are saying that no one is new. All of them are old. So I've got 5 responses so far, 6 responses so far, 7 old, 9 old, 8 old. So those who have responded, okay, hold on. From Saiba to Davies, everyone, those who have responded, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 responses so far out of 50. Okay. Guys, can you tell me how many audit risk CRQs you have prepared so far? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, what? Okay, I've got one answer, 7 CRQs. I've got another answer, top 10 CRQs. I've got another answer, top 10. I've got another answer, 7. I've got another answer, 7, 7. I've got one more answer, 5. So those who are listening to me right now, if you will start doing the hard work according to my directions, this paper is a piece of cake for you. And I'm dead sure about it. You have got the proofs in the chat box. If these guys have prepared 5 or 7 or 10 CRQs, okay, wonderful and a very motivational comment in the chat box. And the comment is mainly all risks are covered in top 5. Imagine if you have prepared my top 10, attended the lecture once, typed the answer using the master file twice. Do this, apply this philosophy on first CRQ, followed by second, followed by third, followed by fourth, and you will be the master of this topic. On this note, I would like to take your leave because I am done with this question. Multiple questions have got similar points. So I would like to take your leave. And I really hope so that within the next 20 to 22 hours, not 24 hours, within the next 20 to 22 hours, you will type this answer twice. Ideally, use the ACCA's practice platform. You should seek help from the master file. I will share the new master file. Use the master file. You have already attended the lecture. Those who, let's assume, you have attended the lecture, right? You understood the question, right? You have got the master file, right? You have got the drafted answer, right? You have attended the lecture. You have got the answer. Now the ball is in your court. You must type the same answer, same, but twice. And I'll see you after 24 hours. If you will do so, automatically you will raise the bar. So how long should you take typing one CRQ with or 10 audit risk? I don't want to answer this question as of now. The first CRQ will take a lot of time. Once you will type the same second time, the time will reduce. It's a learning curve. So it's about the top 10. Second will take less time. Third will take less time. Slowly but surely, everything will be a piece of cake for you. So you have to have patience and you have to start the journey. If you have to prepare top 30 CRQs, if you have to prepare top 10 CRQs on audit risk, you have to start from the first one. Why don't you start from Magpie? On this note, I would like to take your leave, wishing you all the best, not only for this particular topic, but for the rest of the AA. Thank you very much. And I really hope so that within the next 24 hours, you will remain honest with your AA and you will type Magpie at least twice. I am hopeful that you will do so. Thank you. Even if you have prepared this question earlier on, why don't you type this question all over again? Please do it. Thank you very much and take care. See you soon. Thank you. I hope this lecture helps you. Thank you.